drive home. Hey, it's good to have you with me in the lounge today. If this is your first time to the lounge, welcome. Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and I can get together and talk about all the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, and so much more. And if those are things that get you excited, that you love, and you love talking about, then guess what? Guess what? You found the right place. You found the right channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, and do all the YouTube stuffs so that we can hang out. All right, because that's what we do. We hang out around here and we have fun. And this is one of those times. Sometimes we're in the studio, sometimes we're in the car. And right now, we're in the car because news has broken, and it's time now to talk about it. Here's everybody. Wow, everybody came in all at once. Whoa. I am. Okay. So, hey, Darkness. How you doing? Doing all right, Darkness? I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Yeah. So, let's talk about this. So, two things got dropped today, right? We got the Superman logo, and yes, apparently no longer is it Superman Legacy. Although, and you know what? It's kind of funny about that is that literally this last week I was thinking about the name Superman Legacy, and I was talking to somebody about this. And about what that could mean, and about how Superman, and it goes back to actually what's the Kingdom Come logo, right? And I'm going to get into the Kingdom Come logo here, but think about this. The Kingdom Come logo is about a Superman in the future who needs to teach the other heroes basically how to be heroes again, right? Like people are... They're not being heroes. They're not conducting themselves in the right way. And Superman basically comes out of retirement to tell them all that, or to show them all that. This seems to be kind of similar, where the little bit of information that came out said stuff about how this movie was about Superman, inspiring the world, all the superheroes, that the superheroes are already in this world, but that Superman inspires them to be like the heroes that we know. So, okay. And I was thinking, man, that's Superman's legacy right there, to be able to be that inspiration to all of the heroes. That's what Superman does. So I get the logo, okay? But also, but I'm not done with that logo yet, so just stay right there for a second. I understand the logo from that standpoint, right? And I also I like the story idea. What concerns me though is I feel a little gypped, and here's why. Let me kind of tell you why. Because I feel like that S is going to look fine. And here's one of those times where I stand by my word. So when I tell you something and you think, well, Enosh just doesn't want to hear other opinions. No, see, that's not true. When I tell people, like, let's wait, let's listen, let's see the thing, right? And stuff like that. And just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it sucks. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that everybody has to hate it, or all these things. So I like the Kingdom Come logo where it usually is, right? In Kingdom Come, in that story. Right? I liked it on Crisis on Infinite Earths because it was supposed to represent that Superman. That makes that Superman stand out. It identifies that Superman. You know what I mean? Like, that's a certain S. It's a certain logo. It's a certain crest. It's not just regular Superman crest. Does that make sense? That's my concern about this. Is I hope that, like, this is, I don't want to see this either. And you know why? Because this is too clean. This is too much look, this is the classic, and this is awesome. And I will wear Superman crests, till the day I die. I have no problem with Superman crests. So I'm not saying, oh, it's too clean, whatever. This is the standard, right? This is what everybody knows. And when this gets drawn in comic books, it gets drawn different ways, whatever, okay? So the thing is that though I don't want the Superman S to look like this either. It's too clean. It's too prim. You know what I mean? It's too You get what I'm saying? Right? So it just is what it is. I like the texture. I think it's funny and kind of comical that the texture is very similar to Henry Cavill's. Just saying, if you look at it close up. I do love the fact that it's huge. I love the fact that shield is big. It's obviously big, and that's what it should be. And I think that's what's really going to set the standard for that, is that it's going to stand out, you know? I'm just concerned that if this storyline that they're telling doesn't in some way involve a Kingdom Come type of thing, then why did you do it? So when I say feeling gypped, like I'm a little concerned. I want to see the whole thing in motion, in the suit and everything, but I'm a little concerned that, like, of how much James Gunn put into that design, because obviously the design was already there, but I'm not mad at it. And like I said, this is one of those times that, like, I wouldn't have done this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the story is, though, right? So I don't know if they're actually telling a Building to Kingdom Come story. Yes, so I don't know if they're telling that story. If they are, great. If they're not, I'm a little concerned. But here's the thing. This is one of those times when I step back and I go, hey, it is a Superman crest. It is a legitimate Superman crest. Everybody, I've seen people all over the internet, you know, talking about it, and you can tell that they don't know that, right? And most people in the world, this is one of those times where it is revealed how much people really know about these characters, right? Because for a lot of people, look, a lot of people in our world, all they know is Christopher Reeve. You know, they know the new guy, but like some people don't even know who Henry Cavill is. They'll just say, oh, the new guy, the guy who's been in them. He's not going to be the guy, the new guy. The new guy, you know, the guy who's been there since 2013? Yeah, the guy, the new guy. New guy. We're on 2 more guys since that guy, you know? So it just is what it is. I just, it's kind of the problem that I have with the Lois or Superman and Lois logo. It's too clean. It's too straight edge, and you know, it doesn't have a lot of character to it to be actually on the chest, you know. And so that's my only concern about that. And I really just hope it makes sense. I hope that it's not like James Gunn was like, hey, that one looks different, let's throw that one on, right? And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to do that, are going to say stuff like that. They're going to degrade it and whatnot. And I'm not here for all that. All right, I am here for a good Superman movie, and I have a feeling we're going to get that. I really do. I have a feeling that we're going to get a just kick butt movie. Now, I will say this: after seeing this, I would be shocked if the trunks are not on that costume. What are your thoughts? Because I'd be absolutely shocked if they if they don't. So I have not seen some of your comments because obviously I'm driving here, but just trying to see some of the things that you guys are saying about this. Hello to everyone who said hello. Also, the snow makes me think of the Fortress of Solitude. Absolutely, that's the first thing I thought of, RJ, was Fortress of Solitude. TW says, honestly, I think the reason the logo was taken is because it looks more sci-fi to fit it being... Yeah. I get that. You know, I thought of that too, TW. I honestly thought about that, was that, you know, they probably did it because it looks less like an S. It doesn't look like an S. And I was thinking, I thought about this actually just before getting in the car. Can you guys tell me what you think? Listen, for me, obviously Superman, the S is supposed to be on his chest, right? But let's be honest too. Like, a letter on the chest is kind of on the nose. It's like it's a throwback, right? if sorry, right, yeah, a letter from Earth doesn't make any sense, right? In with that, like, you know, I mean, like, and I loved actually how Zack Snyder handled that. I honestly loved that because I thought it was really great with the textures and the way that the S wound and everything, and with Superman being able to say, "This is a symbol on my planet. It's a symbol of hope. It's a symbol for hope." That I loved that. There are people who have complained about that, and I don't understand. Oh, RJ, it would be super cool if it was on the cape. It would be. I'm a cape guy, man. I love the S on the cape. I just do. I hate the S on the belt. I cannot stand the S on the belt. Right? But yes, you know, and all of this stuff is really not, you know, I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? And so I look at it like this. That symbol. See, Bradley, you and me, buddy. That symbol, I thought of that too, TW, that it looks very foreign and alien, and that could be the way to go, right, for Superman. Obviously, the new Superman cartoon, My Adventures with Superman, uses a similar type of logo, you know. Like I said, the only concern that I have with that logo is if you are not telling a story that somehow involves that story of Kingdom Come or something like it, then I have a problem with it, kind of, because it's a very specific symbol. So like, it's one of those things that would bug me, but you're not going to see me complain about. You know, you're not going to see me, take to the internet to decry this symbol, because it's a legitimate Superman symbol. And if you don't recognize it, okay, that's you, right? If you recognize it, then you know even more. Yes, it is unique. There's the possibility for some confusion for people who don't, I mean, because let's face it, most of the world doesn't know the Kingdom Come Superman, right? So a lot of people are just going to think that he came up with his own symbol, and I think it's a chance for us as geeks and nerds to educate our friends on what this is, right? Hey, thank you, Anthony Grigsby. There's my brother from down under. Absolutely, I can't wait to hear your voice again, bro. So that's my concern with Superman, right? Like, it does have a chance to make it unique, but it has a chance to confuse people. So we need to be able to educate people about this, for sure. Now, we talked about, a long time ago, and I'm not, look, before anybody jumps in, I'm not saying this is what's happening, okay? I'm just saying, I said at the beginning, and many others have brought it up too, the idea that, look, this could be the beginning to some huge arc, that by the time the 10 years commences, we could end up with a whole lot more than we realize. I mean, multiverse stuff, multiple Supermen. That's where I hope they're going. Yeah, Bradley says, what are you saying here? I can't believe a lot of these Superman fans sit there and trash on this movie every day. Yep, no matter what, and make up two statements about the box office when it's years away. I absolutely agree with you. You know what it's like? It's like when I used to be in sales, and I would call upon somebody, right, who was already my customer, but maybe I got, somebody who didn't know who I was. Like I worked in the printing industry for 18 years, right? And so there were companies that, I did all of their printing, but, Susie up at the desk answering the phone doesn't know that, right? And so, I would walk in, and I'm well dressed. I'm there. Many times I would be with a colleague, because we'd be discussing some kind of marketing plan or media, launch or something, I mean, so we always had these things. And it was like walking into one of those places, like have somebody look at you and go, like, who are you? Like, not knowing who you are, what you are, nothing, and then just making assumptions that you're just some sales guy there just to sell them something. So no, we don't want any, right? And it was really funny because this one company, they hired somebody, like that person thought that it was just their job to be gatekeeper, and they were hired for that. But like when you have a friendship and a relationship, like you should probably meet those customers and know who those vendors are. We were a vendor, and so yeah, it was just funny because it's just trying to tell me, oh, we don't want any of what you have, and I'm like, you do. We're already in there and stuff. I just need to talk to so-and-so. It's just funny, and that's how a lot of these Superman fans act, right? Is that the real Super Shadow? The real Super Shadow. There's a reference not everybody's going to get either. I would love 2 cents to come back. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. You can make 2 cents on nonsense come back. I want 2 cents on nonsense to come back. But there's only a couple of ways it can happen. One, most people that I talk to about it, and I've talked to since, they all agree they love Johnny. And I love Johnny. That's why I asked Johnny to do that show with me specifically, because especially back then, I was doing panel shows all the time. But I wanted Johnny to do that show specifically because of conversations I'd had with Johnny. Right? Right, TW? Like, is that you, bro? Is that you? Okay. Anyways, so if you enjoyed the show, here's the thing. Johnny Pop, you can find him on Twitter. Tweet him. Or X. That's dumb. Anyways, yeah. You can find him on there. Tweet him, whatever. If you see him in here, tell him, hey, we want more 2 cents on nonsense back. Go back and comment on things that he's commented on. All right. The only other way that I could do 2 cents on nonsense would be to find another co-host. And I've thought about that. I've actually thought about finding another co-host because I'd actually like to expand 2 cents on nonsense. I don't want to just talk about Star Wars, just the Mike Zeros and the Mike Zero Doomcocks of the world and stuff. I also want to tackle some fun stuff that I would just love to go after. And I know Johnny would too, because Johnny and I are both ministers. And that is going after like ridiculous religious stuff, that's just phonies and frauds and fakes and stuff, man. And just, flat earthers and conspiracy theorists stuff. I love conspiracy theories, so I would love to get into some of that stuff. But yeah, it's just finding the right person to do it. But anyway, so that's a Superman thing. I'm excited about the Superman movie. I still, for the life of me, can't understand why there's people who, like Bradley said, are already just demeaning this movie, mocking this movie. I have never seen such ridiculousness before. Like, I long for the times. I wish for the times again when we didn't care about who directed a movie. Unless Spielberg was connected to it or something, we didn't know because we didn't care. We just watched the movie, and if we liked it, we liked it. And if we didn't like it, we didn't like it. I think James Gunn has enough experience that we can give him a shot to do this, don't you? Derpy Entertainment, you're right. The Snyder fans that have gone off the deep end. It was funny. I made a comment on a Facebook post about the DCU and how, like, I'm looking forward to it and I want this, and I made a comment because whatever it was, I can't remember what it was, but it was relevant to something from one of Snyder's movies. And so, like, I said that, and I said, look, I love this, but I'm looking forward to this, and look, I'm a Superman fan at the end of the day. So, I want this to succeed. Why wouldn't we? If you are a fan of these characters, you want the characters to succeed. I don't care who directs the movie. I don't care who wrote the movie, as long as it's a good movie. No, this is TW. I'm going there down further than that, though, for you for you. Really enjoyed your show. Hey, real Super Shadow, man. That's cool. That is really cool. I remember the first time I read the Super Shadow website back in like 1996 or 7, was it? Something like that. Internet was new to me. Like my girlfriend Rachel had, it's Landon's mom. We were dating at the time. They had a computer at their house. I didn't have a computer yet. And yeah. So what do you guys think of the name change? Let's talk about the name change. Thank you, Real Super Shadow. Appreciate it. We got a lot planned. What do you guys think of the name change? So there's going to be people, and you already know that it's coming today. I haven't seen it yet, but there's already going to be bad faith people who, you know, are going to say, see, he's a liar. He said the name was Superman Legacy. He's just changing it now because we've given it such a negative connotation. We've said all these negative things about it. So he's just changing it now so it has a chance, but it has no chance. It's dead on arrival. I'm just sick of hearing all that stuff. Because I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Things change. Stuff happens. I loved what he said. I loved what James Gunn said. It was fine to just be able to say, hey, when I wrote the film, I titled it Superman Legacy. When I finished it, and when I finished the script and we knew that we were coming down for it, and it was down to this, it's just Superman. That's fine. That's great. You know, I'm looking forward to this movie. Now, like I said again, if at some point when I see this movie, it turns out to not be as great as I thought it was going to be, I'll report that. But right now, I got nothing negative on this film. There hasn't even been enough for there to be a negative thing about this film yet. So if you're complaining about this film already, you're a bad faith artist. You're somebody who doesn't really want truth. You just want to push a narrative. You don't like James Gunn, and I get it. And like I said, I've said it every time. If you have an issue with James Gunn's personal life or whatever, that's fine. I will say okay. But if you're just hating on it because you're not getting what you wanted, that's not a legitimate reason to say to hate on a future film. Like, everybody has acted like James Gunn is just walking around trying to systematically pick off anybody who had anything to do with you know, Zack Snyder and his films and be rude to everybody, and that's just not the case. James has tried to make himself available. I mean, again, if you're going to say stuff like that, at least be honest, right? James has tried to make himself available to everybody, has tried to be transparent, and nobody cares. No, you know, those Snyder, that side of the Snyder fandom, because it is not the entire Snyder fandom, because I consider myself part of the Snyder fandom, and I'm sorry, but I know enough people now that don't think that way, that are legitimate, that like have a brain between their head and they can think for themselves, that is not the entire thing at all. That's not the entire group of us Snyder fans. So that's what I was saying. If somebody in that Facebook chat said to me, wow, you're a Snyder fan, you are the first Snyder fan that I've ever met that's got like, that seems legit. And I was like, I'll take that all day, because I'm honest about it, you know? Yeah, Cherie, the title is now Superman, apparently. I'm like, okay. You know? Yeah, Justin, I know, man. It sucks, man. It's really frustrating, you know? And the sad thing is so many fandoms have gone that way. You know, it was Star Wars for the longest time, you know? hey, Anthony Beltray, it was Star Wars. And then it's just like somebody was telling me the other day, somebody literally said, I think even in here, it might have been in here, I don't know, but somebody said something about how, like even the SpongeBob SquarePants fandom is like toxic and divided. So I don't know. I think it's just because when people love something, they want to demand what that thing is, and they want to control it, and they think that they know it better than anybody else. And you know, and that's the problem, right? Because like if I'm a Superman fan, I may really feel adamant about a certain type of Superman, and I'm a Superman fan, so I know what I like, and I know what Superman is, and I know who Superman is, and what he should be doing, what he should be saying, and all those things. But do I? Because I may know the one that I like. Right, Justin? If somebody doesn't like something, they don't have to watch it. It's really that simple. What's up, Jag Knight? Hey, DL? Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the thing, is it's not something that has to be hated on. Just state your opinion, you know, and have conversations. I have conversations, man, behind all this. So yeah, so if James Gunn is saying that the inspiration for the Superman is was from Ross, then obviously we understand where we got this, right? You know, it's not that hard. It's not that hard, people. Hey, we got a $10 super chat, $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Super Cam 1721. There is a name I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm glad and blessed and happy to see that name. I'll tell you what, I miss your comments, and I can't pull your comment up on my screen because I'm not using StreamYard, but I can heart it, and so I just did that, and I will read it. Hey Enosh, I'm hoping Superman 25 is good. My only two concerns is the Marvel comedy, yep, and homages to Superman 78. I like 78, but people need to move on. I'm guessing move on, like moved on from Snyderverse to DCU. I agree. You know, it's Super Cam. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. My concerns about the new Superman movie is comedy. It needs to be peppered in there. It needs to have some lighter moments, you know, but I really do not want the Marvel thing of, hey, here's some earth-shattering thing that's happening where people are dying, where you know, something is attacking something or whatever, and the city is collapsing and falling. One of the things I loved about Man of Steel was it took the destruction of Metropolis seriously. I mean, people were depressed, and well, they should be, and Superman was there being an inspiration, and people are like, Superman didn't do nothing. Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. He's smiling, he's trying to save people, he's doing the best he can. And my concern is in a lot of Marvel movies, it's like, hey, the world's falling apart, but then it's like, oh, but here's a joke. Heroes are watching buildings collapse and people die, and they're making jokes. That's a concern for me. Anybody who says, oh, no, it's not. Oh, really? Okay, well, here's the thing, is when I see buildings collapsing, especially against the backdrop of New York, you better take that seriously. I don't think I have to explain why, do I? It was one of the problems I had with Avengers. You got these aliens flying through the city, destroying buildings, they're toppling down and everything. They showed nobody die or be in situations where, you know, it's bad. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I'm hoping they fix that. And I'm hoping that, well, not fix it, but I'm hoping that there's not a lot of that in there. Other than that, I'm fine. I just don't want a bunch of stupid jokes. I just want them to take Superman seriously, and I want Superman to be needs to be in the film. That's it. Okay, now Tron Ares. Oh yeah, baby. How long have I wanted Tron? Huh? How long have I wanted Tron? You all know that I have wanted Tron 3 for the longest time. Now, the question is it going to be any good? I hope so. I hope so. But check this out. We got a plot description. So Ares is a program that becomes sentient and tries to go into the real world. And Jared Leto is his physical representation in the real world. And it says the real world is not ready for that. In Tron Legacy, Sam brings Korra out. Here's my question. Are they not going to reference Sam and Korra? Like, did something happen to Sam? Why aren't Sam and Korra in this? Or at least they haven't been announced. So, but have you seen the picture of Jared Leto? I'm assuming that's Jared Leto. Looks so good. Named after the god of war, wants to destroy humanity. Cherie, you know what? Don't rain on my parade, Cherie. No, we don't know. We don't know. I'm guessing that is. I mean, look, Clue wanted to wage war on the real world when he found out about it. Didn't he? I mean, that's what he wanted to do, right? So I'm guessing that this is some kind of, pickup on that. I love you, Cherie. You know what I mean? So it's probably a pickup on that. But man, that picture looks great. I'm glad that they're keeping with the basic aesthetic from Tron Legacy. It just looks like the character that they show in the picture is more red than that orangish color. Biggest question though of Tron Legacy, or Tron Legacy of Tron. Oh, Austin, you look what your boy is saying to you right below your comment. Look what your boy is saying. You know what you do with that? It's called date night. I tried to do it with Shayna. I can't talk, man. I tried to have Shayna watch the original Tron because I think she said she had seen it, but it's been so long. She liked Tron Legacy, but she didn't realize that Tron Legacy was a sequel, right? So we went back and tried to watch it, and both of us fell asleep. It was a tiring night. We were both tired that night, but it's not because I don't like it, because I love Tron. But yeah, so we got the big question for Tron. The big question for Tron Ares. You ready? Here's my one thing with Tron Ares. Please. I had a couple Red Bulls today. So, please let Tron be in it. Can we do that? Just let Tron be in it. If you have to CGI Bruce Boxleitner, do it. De-age him. It'll be better. Hey, that's what I said. I had 2 Red Bulls today. One in the morning and one in the afternoon. Tron was very much missed in Legacy. And I know Rinsler was Tron. Spoiler alert. I get it. But the movie's called Tron. And if Flynn's gone, we need something to ground us to the universe. We need Tron. The movie's called Tron. We need Tron. So I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping that we get something like that. I mean, look, even if you have to recast Tron, something, right? Yeah, I hope they bring Sam back too, Austin. But okay, DL, I watched Tron Uprising, and we did get Tron. in Tron Uprising. So yeah, we did. But not in Legacy, not in the movie. I mean, we got the backstory, right? We know what happened to Tron. That Tron was overtaken by Clue, right? And oh, Austin, let me tell you something, buddy. When it first came out, I didn't appreciate it. Tiffany and I had just started dating, and well, actually, it might have been out for a little while before that because this is when the boys discovered it, and I think, yeah, well, it was all sometime around then. Anyways, the thing is that her and the boys started watching it before Tiffany and I got married, and they loved it. I tried watching it, but the animation was a little weird to me at first, and so I didn't. I didn't finish it. I watched part of the first episode and was like, I don't like this, because I'm a stickler for animation. I don't like weird, crazy animation most of the time. Most of the time, I just like something nice and clean and, whatever. But Uprising got so good. Yes, DL. Uprising got so good. And Tron is in it. And that, he's the main character. And I really liked what they did with it. What's up, Jared? But I am worried, though, if they don't put Tron in this thing. Because what's the point of calling it Tron? Just to call it Tron? Like maybe establish something else then, and go with that. Oh, dude, Bradley, you're going to love Tron, man. If you, Tron is one of those films, Tron and Tron Legacy. And I mean, and everything that goes along with it, right? Because, like, I've got the arcade game, and you had all kinds of console games that came out back in the day with it. And, yeah, there's been a lot of great Tron content. I was always confused by the Tron timeline. The Tron timeline is super easy, super fast. You ready? Tron 1 happened 1981. Flynn did what he had to do, went into the company, went into the computer, got the information that he needed. Tron, helped him. He came back out with the information on the disc, and was able to show that Dillinger had tried to take over the company and was doing illegal things and had screwed Flynn over on the video games that he had created. That's Tron 1, basically, in a sense. And so Flynn became the... that's a little weird, about, like, what happened, how Flynn became in charge of the company. Like, I don't know how that happened. I don't know. We probably have to talk about that one a little bit because I'm not really sure that that's just what happens. I mean, like, yeah, Flynn created the video games that made the company all the money. But I guess the company just welcomed him back in then. I mean, because they had kicked him out. Dillinger had kicked him out. He was not allowed back in. He was not allowed anywhere near the company because of the fear that he would uncover the proof. But then once he was in charge of the company, of MCON, he ended up, that we see in Tron Legacy, where he's going into the digital world. He finds the ISOs. He's building this world of new life and everything, and then gets stuck in there. Oh yeah, Darkness, man. I've been watching all that stuff, man. Yeah. Now I have not seen what is it? No, that's Marvel stuff. I've seen all. Well, no, I have not seen all of the second season of Visions. That's it though. All the other Star Wars stuff I've seen, and I've loved it all, man. Ahsoka was brilliant. Ahsoka season 2 is now coming out. But yeah, I mean, so Tron 2 is Tron Legacy is the introduction of Sam. His dad's been missing for years, and all that. So that's the timeline. Is just Flynn was trapped, and Sam grew up without his dad, only to find out that his dad was in the computer. I love Tron 2 because it harkens back to such an innocent time, right? An innocent time where we didn't know how computers worked, and the first Tron is filled with all this stuff about programs and users and RAM, and it's cute. The grid, it's so nice to think of, like, that there's a digital world out there that's just like ours, you know. It's funny. Enosh, are you a Godzilla fan? Are you looking forward to the new one? And did you see -1? I did not see -1. I yeah, well, yeah, that was the thing. Was real quick, Clue, which was the other guy who looked like Flynn, right? Because Clue was originally Flynn's program that was on the inside. He's actually in Tron 1. Clue is in Tron 1. And then you see that Flynn mentions that he upgraded Clue, right? And made him to, create the perfect system. And Clue took that too far. But he also then overcame Tron, and Tron was basically became evil for a while. And then at the end of Tron Legacy, when Flynn is getting out of, the digital world, or Sam is getting out of the digital world and everything, it shows Rinsler, who is Tron. So the guy who's fighting Sam and everything, that's Rinsler. That's Tron. And you can tell he's got the 3 dots right here. That's Tron's symbol. And so at the end, you see when he falls into the water on the way to the tower, the orange all turns white. And so you see that, yeah, he came back. So as for look, I like Godzilla stuff. I don't know a lot about Godzilla. I mean, I've watched all the movies. I haven't watched the I haven't watched all the new stuff. I don't know a lot about the history. I know obviously who Godzilla is. I understand the premise. I get all those things, but I'm not like, it was never my nerd thing. I've got friends who are really into Godzilla though, like real life friends who are really into Godzilla and collect Godzillas and the whole 9 yards. I did not see -1. I don't know much about this King Kong versus Godzilla. I think it is coming out or something. I've liked the Monarch movies, for lack of a better term. I don't know what that universe is called, the Monsterverse or whatever. I've liked that. I really like that King Kong. I like the Godzilla. The Mothra was okay. And you know what? And honestly, I did not really care for the creature that was in the first movie that had the weird beak. It looked like something out of Tron. Like it didn't look organic to me. If that makes sense. But I haven't watched the TV show. I know that it's people's thing, and I don't mean to be a bummer on that, but yeah. Yes. Shayna is pumped for Dune Part 2. Right? Now you're gonna go make me watch Dune again or something. You guys are hilarious. Any interest in seeing Dune 2 as well? It's up there with Empire, T2, etc. for one of the best sequels of all time. I will just tell you this. No matter how good it is, there's no way it can be anywhere near Empire. I just don't believe it. To me, Dune 1 was not good enough of a movie to even have a conversation about an Empire-like sequel, because you would literally be talking about something that would have to excite me to the point where that's all I wanted to talk about, because Empire is my favorite movie, period. Empire is my absolute favorite movie. I know that movie inside and out, backwards, forwards. That's why I love The Last Jedi. And I'm sorry, but I get it. I understand it. I understand the correlation. I have seen the interviews with Rian Johnson. I've seen the documentary with Rian Johnson, and that's exactly what he was doing. So, yeah. So Empire, to say, everybody compares their sequel to 2 things, right? Let's be honest. Well, 3 things. It's either Empire, right? Or Wrath of Khan. or what you just mentioned there. What was I saying? What was it? Wrath of Khan, Empire, Godfather. I was just saying The Godfather, and I just saw your comment, Jordan. So yeah, like it would have to be so freaking amazing, and I don't know how it could be, to be honest with you, because I just really didn't care for Dune 1. It just feels like it's a world that I'm just really not interested in. But of course, Anthony. Of course they did. Of course they dropped merch with The Rock slapping Cody. The Rock can go off into someplace else too. Oh, do I like Kung Fu Panda? Yes, I do like Kung Fu Panda. And I think for Kung Fu Panda 4, I'm going to try to get Isaac and Logan and Landon together, and I'll go see that, because Kung Fu Panda came out when they were little, and Tiffany and I were dating. Yeah. So, 2 movies that had reveals today. Austin says, it really brings it all together. I would agree. It's one of the best sequels ever made. The thing is, though, it is far deeper than Star Wars, especially in a religious manner. Not to say Star Wars isn't deep. Yeah, no, I get it, man. I have enough people. I have enough friends that are like really excited about Dune, right? And so I understand. And Shayna's really excited about Dune. So I understand Dune. And, the first notion that we get a lot of times, right? Like when we hear somebody doesn't like the thing that we like is a lot, like, especially for me, I can just speak for myself. If somebody tells me they don't like something that I really like, my first thought is, you don't get it. Let me try to explain it to you, because I love it, right? And you need to know why I love it. But I think sometimes I miss it and others miss it too. It's not necessarily that they don't get it. Sometimes we just don't like something. And with Dune, I think that I'm pretty sure that that's it for me, because I didn't like the first. I didn't like the original. I did not care for Dune 2, or for Dune the reboot. I don't like the actors in it. Can I just say, like, I'm not a Timothy Cham. I can talk. A Timothy Chalamet fan. I'm not really a big fan of his. I don't know. There's just something about him that kind of bothers me. And then on top of that, I am really not a Zendaya fan at all. I don't see the appeal. I don't see her acting abilities that everybody seems to. I don't think that people. I feel like people are not really expressing things based on her acting ability. I feel like there's, it's just me. Yeah, I just don't care for Timothy. I have just not liked him and stuff. There's just some people, like, you look at them, like somebody maybe at home looking at me, and yeah, I know, Austin, I wasn't saying that about you necessarily. I was just saying, for me, like, that's where my mind goes a lot of times, and like, because I was just kind of thinking out loud about this, like, of like why I end up defending stuff that I like to people, who tell me they don't like it. And that's kind of where I think I am, is like, I feel like, no, if you just understood, like, I can help you. I can help you love this thing that I love, we can love it together. And so then I actually end up feeling bad. I end up feeling bad when a friend of mine or somebody is talking about something that I don't like, even when it's up to this point, it's been like Lord of the Rings, because everything says I should like Lord of the Rings, but I just don't. And when I meet somebody new, and they tell me, and we get into the nerd discussion, because come on, right? It's like I'm a big nerd, so and I'm like a walking billboard for it. And when that happens, people will say to say to me, "Oh yeah, well I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan," and I go, "That's awesome." And they're like, oh, you like Lord of the Rings too? Well, no, I'm not really a big Lord of the Rings fan. I understand it. I get it. There's a lot of qualities about Lord of the Rings that I like. But like to actually just sit down and watch it, I probably wouldn't do it. Would Timothée Chalamet be good as Bob Dylan? He kind of looks like Bob Dylan, doesn't he? He kind of does. Yeah, Austin, and that's things like I love Harry Potter, right? So like everything about Lord of the Rings says that I should like it. It's kind of like the band Kiss, right? I'm a big rock and roll guy. I like some Kiss songs. Yeah, but I don't really care for Kiss. I get them. I respect them and their hustle and all that stuff, man. I respect all that. There's a lot of great Kiss songs, a lot of mediocre Kiss songs, and then a lot of really crappy Kiss songs. The funny thing is my favorite Kiss song of all time is the Kiss song that a lot of Kiss fans go, yeah, that song sucks. We hate that song. It's I Was Made for Loving You. I know it's their disco song, but I dig it. Obviously, the Detroit Rock Cities and, and all that stuff. Yeah, we love all that stuff. I love Heaven's on Fire. Is TW still in here? Hey, TW, can you tell me what Petra song steals the riff from Heaven's on Fire by Kiss? You think he's the next DiCaprio? I don't know. I think I'll wait on that one. I don't think DiCaprio was not meant to be the first DiCaprio, but he really stepped it up. He got in front of the right people, befriended the right people, was in the right films, made really good choices that catapulted him. See, Bradley, you and me, man, like we're on this today. So anyway, so that's my thoughts. Superman, the Superman movie, new name. It's just Superman, no longer Superman Legacy. And we have verification now that is the crest that is going to be used. It greatly resembles the Ross, Kingdom Come Superman logo. We'll see where that story goes. Who knows? We could be here 10 years from now and we could have both Henry Cavill as an older Superman in that world. Who knows? Let the speculation begin. All right, guys, I'm going to go in and see Shayna because she's been here cleaning the house today. And when I pulled up, she was in the garage. So I'm going to go inside and say hello to the sensational Shayna. And I will see you all tomorrow for another one of these drive homes. All right. And be looking forward to having some. We've been listening to Nothing Else Matters by Metallica on repeat. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, Darkness. We'll see you, man. Hey, I want you to know I went to your channel. And I was watching some of your videos, man. Good stuff, man. Good stuff, Darkness. So Timothy said, if the script is good, you join a superhero movie. But Beltray, who's Timothée Chalamet gonna be? Who's he gonna be? I don't know. Got to be skinny. Thank you, guys. Do you like the beard? Do you like the beard being thicker? You know what? I had never just tried to grow it out, and it was funny when Shayna and I first got together. She's like, yeah, I don't like real big bushy beards. And I got a bunch of friends, you guys all know, you guys have all seen James and everything. No, Bradley, no, and no. Timothy might be a good actor, but please don't make him Nightwing. He does not have the physicality for Nightwing. He does not have the physicality, the broodingness, you know what I mean? To be able to scare people. I was reading an article. I was trying to let this go. What's up, Larry? Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's why I was talking about the beard. Yeah, so I started growing out. Shayna ended up loving it, and so now I've got it. Yes, Timothy should be Mad Hatter. Absolutely, Timothy should be Mad Hatter. That right there, Jared, is inspired because that's exactly who he looks like. He needs to beef up for Nightwing, that's for sure. I agree. Yeah, but he's so tiny. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, there's and nothing against anybody who's tiny, you know, don't get me wrong. But like, I looked at a picture today where somebody had taken Tom Welling and put him in a Superman outfit, right? And then had him in the episode of Crisis on Infinite Earths next to Lois and what's his name is Superman, Tyler Hoechlin, right? But and it was obviously, it had been photoshopped, but it still used the original picture of Clark standing there, of Tom Welling's Clark. And Tom Welling is so tall. Tom Welling, you guys don't even understand, man. When I first met the guy, I mean, the guy towers over me. I'm 6'1", and so is Tyler Hoechlin. And I'm looking at Tom, and Tom is a force to be reckoned with, man. He's got that physicality. When I think of Nightwing, yeah, he's young, and everything, but I don't know that I could see Timothée Chalamet as Nightwing, though. You know, yeah, I just don't know if I could see him, Timothée Chalamet, as Nightwing. I feel like he's only a couple of years past being able to play a character like Damian Wayne. I don't feel like he has enough age under his belt. He looks too young. I think that if he was a little bit younger, he could. He's kind of in that weird age though right now, because he's an adult, but he doesn't really like pull off being an adult, you know? Does that make sense? I mean, no, I'm not being offensive towards him. I'm just saying, like, he's at that weird age. It's kind of like Zendaya for me. I look at Zendaya, man, and it's really hard for me to look at Zendaya as an adult character, you know, like a serious adult character. And unfortunately, what ends up happening with a lot of actors who go through that situation, they end up doing something where they have to get naked, have a sex scene, some like degrading thing that lives with them for the rest of their life. And he either catapults their career or kills their career, because they got to do something that makes them more adult. You know, I kind of get what Henry Cavill said, you know, that like a lot of sex scenes are just like overdone, you know, it's not even called for. It's not needed. It's just, you know, to have Timothy maybe as Drake, maybe as Tim Drake. Very true. He plays a 15-year-old in Dune and pulls it off great. He's in a weird place where he can pull off very young as well as a tad older, right? Just a tad older, you know what I mean? Like he looks more like he can just pull off maybe just out of his teens, you know, or like just over 18, you know, but not quite like those serious adult roles yet, you know. And it took DiCaprio a while to get there. If you think about it, you know, like he didn't just overnight, you know, was taken as a serious thing. I mean, think about how serious Leonardo DiCaprio is taken now, right? When you see Leonardo in a movie, you know, the movie's probably going to be good. He surrounds himself with great directors. He's been in great movies, but there was a time where people made fun of him, right? Because of his age, because of the way he, you know, conducted himself, all those things. So, you know, his look, you know, I mean, not really conducting himself because he took that, but you know what I mean? His look, you know, yeah, it did. Yeah, you're right, brother. It took him like 10 years to get roles that weren't like in their 20s or late teens. And so I could see that same thing happening to Timothée Chalamet, because he's got just that young look, you know, and that can be either really good for you or really bad, you know, because at some point, if you're an old guy who looks too young, new audience doesn't necessarily connect with you because you're not young. You know what I mean? You can't just look young. And, you know, look, and what's up, Luke, by the way? Hey, man, the whole beginning of the video is when I talked about the Superman Legacy logo. It's fine. I got a couple little concerns, you know, like if they end up, if they don't do anything that's connected to Kingdom Come Superman, Luke, I'm a little leery of that because like that's a very specific crest. You don't just throw that on any Superman. That is Kingdom Come Superman. We all know that. Those of us who read the comics, those of us who know these characters, we know that is Kingdom Come Superman's crest. If you put that crest on a Superman and you put him in a movie, it's got to connect somehow. I don't know. But yeah, DiCaprio, man, he, you know, he's now very respected. So I could see it. You know, I could see them doing stuff. Oh, he says, but I don't understand why Leonardo is not in superhero stuff. Well, I think it's pretty easy. I mean, like, I think it's pretty easy to understand. For as much success as superhero movies have had, it's either feast or famine. Okay, superhero movies are either feast or famine. There are very few superhero movies that everybody just goes, "Oh, that was all right. It was okay. I enjoyed seeing it. I'm glad I saw it. You know, I would have gone to see it again, but you know, it wasn't my favorite." That's not how superhero fans act. Not how Star Wars fans. We know this, Luke. You know this. Dude, from your post, you know this. I know you know this. So I'm not telling you anything that you don't know already. Because the thing is like, either the superhero movie does really, 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 really well, and everybody sings its praise about how great it is, even if it sucks, or it just absolutely bombs and sucks. Or it's decent, but yet, you know what, nobody went to see it because it got a little too deep into comic book lore, and people didn't see it. Or people go see a comic book movie that actually deals well with the subject material, like a la Man of Steel and BVS, and because it's not the public persona of what they thought Superman was, because let's be honest, people don't base their ideas on what Superman or Batman should be based on what actually has been in the comics for the last 40 years. No, they base it on what they saw when they were a kid. And a lot of the people who now have disposable income and money to go buy and spend on these things and these properties and have kids who may or may not be into it now are who? People my age, middle-aged, you know, 30s, 40s, who are looking for entertainment. And the problem is that they look at Superman and they think that Superman is defined by Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve was an amazing Superman. Christopher Reeve was Superman for many people, and still is for many people, but Christopher Reeve was at the top of he was like, and for many in the world, they still regard him as that. And every time I see a post, or every time I see somebody reference the fact of how great he was as Clark Kent, how he distinguished the two roles, I both respect that, and it frustrates me. Because Clark Kent has never been a bumbling idiot. He's not in the original Superman comics that came out starting in 1938 with Action Comics #1. He's a mild-mannered reporter, but he's not a doofus. He's not somebody fumbling all over himself. Here's the problem that I have with it. Like, as a kid, I didn't know any better, right? I didn't know any better. But when I started reading comics, and I got into comics, and I started seeing that that wasn't Superman, that wasn't Clark Kent, it's something unique to that. Right now, yeah, there's been one-off comics here and there, and little things where, you know, they pay homage to Christopher Reeve's Superman and his portrayal of Clark Kent. But Clark has never acted like that. That's not Clark Kent. I mean, look at George Reeves when he played Clark Kent in the 50s series. Is he fumbling over things? Is he tripping over things? Is he falling over people? Is he acting like a nerd or a dork or any of those things? No. He's mild-mannered. He's a nice guy, but he's actually sarcastic sometimes to Lois. And I mean, he knows what's up. You know? So that's kind of the same issue that I have going forward with this, because people think that that's Clark Kent. You can have a Clark Kent that is the real person. Clark is the real person, folks. Superman is not the real person. Superman is the facade. It's his uniform that he wears to be able to use his powers out in front of everybody. But if you have a guy who's literally falling all over himself, knocking stuff over, always drawing attention to himself, isn't that going to be the guy that people go, nobody acts like that. Nobody's that silly and goofy and whatnot, you know? And so many things happened in those original Superman movies that, like, Clark did, that if Clark had done that in the real world, everybody would have known he was Superman. Can we just be honest? Just saying. You know, it just is what it is. One of my favorite moments is Superman 3. When Clark sneezes and sends the bowling ball down the lane to destroy all the pins. And everybody just turns around. They're like, Gesundheit. Nobody guessed, like, there's something about Clark, right? So, and even that's inconsistent. Even that part is inconsistent, because it would mean that Clark gave up who he was in reality. That's a concern, because it would mean if Superman, if Christopher Reeve's Superman really went about things that way, again, it would have meant that Clark gave up his humanity to be Superman. Because in Superman 1, Clark is not a doofus as a kid, as a teenager. When he runs and meets everybody, you know, when he runs home after they knock the bench over with all of the football equipment on it and everything, and, you know, he was hoping to go to the party with everybody and stuff, and they're like, oh no, Kent, you got stuff to do, right? Clark is not bumbling all over himself. When he talks to his dad, when he has that heart-to-heart with his dad, you know, that's real Clark. And there's other moments where he's very, very serious, and like where he stands and, you know, he's Clark, but he puts on a facade. Man, that would suck. And it's just not that way in anything else. So, like, I'm really hoping that Superman, the movie formerly known as Superman Legacy, I'm really hoping that he doesn't try to do an homage to that Clark Kent. Because I will be upset at that. Because you would have taken Clark Kent's humanity away from me. And from every fan who's read a comic book in the last 40 years. Because that's who Clark has been for a long time. Clark has always been a serious journalist, not some doof for comedy relief. I don't want that world. So, yeah, so sorry, I didn't mean to, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it all down there at the end, but I started kind of thinking about that. It's like, that will bother me if he uses that version of Clark, because that's just not Clark Kent. And you all know how much I love Superman. So, like I said, but, you know, even then, it's not gonna be the end of the world. I will look at it for what it is. I will enjoy it for what it is, and I will continue to have the other things that I like. And that's, at the end of the day, what we always need to remember, right? Is that nobody can take away what you already have. I love Man of Steel. To me, Man of Steel is I mean, it's a great Superman movie. And so nobody can take that away. If you like the Snyderverse, nobody can take the Snyderverse away from you, right? So enjoy what you enjoy, but you know, like I always say, don't let anybody tell you that your fandom and the things that you like don't matter. And don't tell anybody that what they love and their fandom doesn't matter. But seek to have good conversations. Treat people with respect. Sometimes we all got to learn when to stop talking, huh? So, but if you do that, there'll always be a place for you guys here at the Poindexter Lounge. I got to get inside. The sun is going down. I always enjoy this time that I've been spending with you guys lately. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. All right. And hey, Super Cam, love you. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. You're awesome, bro. And you all have a wonderful evening. And we'll do it all again tomorrow at about 5:15 Eastern time. And have some fun. All right, Bradley. Bradley, go watch Tron with Austin. All right, guys. We'll see you in darkness. I'll tell you some other time, darkness. Message me or something somewhere. It was just a funny little thing. But anyways, love you all. Peace out, Austin. I will see you all. Like I said, 2 cents on nonsense. I would love to bring the show back. Message Johnny Pop. Tell him you'd like to see it back. If not, maybe we can do a search for a new co-host. Because I don't want that to ever be a show that's like too many people. Because my goodness, Johnny and I going on that show. I mean, the audience, the chat was what made that show so great, right? I mean the jokes and the funny stuff that came out of 2 cents on nonsense was fabulous. So I would love to do that show again. Everybody seemed to really like it. And so, but I got to have the right co-host. So maybe I should go on a search for the next co-host of 2 cents on nonsense. No, I would like for 2 cents on nonsense to be me and Johnny. Johnny's just really, really busy. Johnny and I are still friends. Johnny and I love each other very much. I feel like I got to like preface that with that, like when somebody's disappeared from the show for a while, but Johnny's still around. Johnny and I are good friends and have been for a long time. And so, I would love to see Johnny come back and do 2 cents on nonsense with me. All right. But until that time comes, well, not until that time comes, but until next time, be good to each other. Stay nerdy. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.